I'm gonna wait to buy until interest rates are low again. I'm gonna wait to buy until real estate prices are low again. Both of these things sound amazing. But you know how you never see Clark Kent and Superman in the same room at the same time? Well, low interest rates and low real estate prices are kind of the same thing. You can wait until you see low interest rates again, but chances are you're going to see high real estate prices. You can wait until you see low real estate prices again, but if you see them, like we're seeing right now, or at least starting to, chances are it's because you're seeing some high interest rates and no one can get qualified and our buyer pool is a little bit smaller. Instead of waiting around for something that might happen in the future, you could be taking action today to better yourself and your financial situation by buying real estate. Here's the cold hard truth about it. There stands a really good chance that you're not going to save money right now. Just like if you crank out 20 sit-ups right now, you're not going to suddenly have a six-pack. But future you will absolutely appreciate past you for the struggles that you made right now. So here's how it worked for me. I mentioned in our channel's trailer that, here's the link for that, when we first came to Fairbanks, we bought a log home in 2012, and I misspoke, it was actually in 2011 that we bought. But unfortunately, we refinanced immediately right after we bought it, and that set us back a little bit because we really didn't know what we were doing. And we had a great interest rate at the time, but we trusted our lender and they kind of led us astray a little bit. Side note on the topic of refinancing, unless it really makes sense for you and your family and your financial situation, I wouldn't recommend doing a refinance immediately after buying, because hypothetically, if you're going to go from like a 7% interest rate to a 5% interest rate, that's one thing. But we went from like a 4% interest rate to a 3.75% interest rate. So it saved us about $50 a month. And it really didn't make any sense for us because over the lifetime, the time that we were in that home, we ended up saving like $3,900 and it ended up costing us over $5,000. So it really didn't make sense for us. So now you know. So anyway, as I said in our trailer, the only thing that saved us from having to write a huge check at closing was the fact that we had built a little bit of equity into our home during the time that we owned it. So that was one of the biggest game changers between owning a home and renting a home. The fact that while we were paying down our mortgage ever so slightly, we were also accruing a little bit of equity. If you own your own home, every month when you're paying your mortgage, you slowly but surely take a little bit off the top of what you end up owing on your home. It's painful and it takes like 30 years to do if you only pay what they tell you to when they tell you to. But at the same time that you're making those payments, the market is also doing something whether you like it or not. And I think you'll appreciate it. Sorry, that was a little bit of a dad joke. It's appreciating in value. As you're living in your home, especially here in Fairbanks, we see between 3 and 4% annually appreciation on the market value of your home. So what ends up happening is that you as a homeowner, you end up having kind of a forced savings account that is working for you on two fronts. So let me explain a little bit further. So we bought our log home for $230,000 in 2011. And we only made our regular payments until we sold it in 2018, but we sold it for $250,000. But the thing is that we only owed about $200,000 when we sold it. So in theory, although, had we not had to pay for any repairs, and we paid for a lot of repairs, we would have had a decent sized check at closing after selling that home. So, but that only came from the fact that we made our mortgage payments on time and the real estate market had seen some appreciation. But was that the only real big benefit that we saw? Well, no. There were others. Thinking about moving to Fairbanks? Well, click on the link below for my free relocation guide where I talk about top schools, top neighborhoods, and so much more. Our housing costs, for the most part, never changed. We wrote and continue to write checks for the same amount each month to the company that services our mortgage. And that number isn't going to increase. I mean, it may fluctuate a little bit due to, property taxes changing and ebbing and flowing, but because we're not having to pay a landlord who's making decisions about how much our rent is going to be. So it stays the same month to month and it makes our housing costs super predictable. One of the other benefits to owning a home is in the form of tax deductions. And you get these as a homeowner and you don't really get them as a tenant. For example, interest paid on a mortgage is tax deductible. That can result in significant savings on your annual tax bill. Additionally, property taxes are also tax deductible, which can help further reduce your tax liability. Now, you should absolutely talk with a CPA about taxes and property taxes, and how best allocate those on your taxes every year. So I'm not an accountant, that's for sure. So while you get these benefits as a homeowner, as a tenant, the benefits are much, that list is much shorter. If there's a problem with the unit that you're living in, you can call someone else and they'll come out and fix it. I suppose there's also a little bit less of a commitment to it too. Apart from that, everything that you put into paying your rent is being put into someone else's equity position. So you're helping pay someone else's taxes. You're helping put into someone else's forced savings account. You're doing all of the things that you should be doing for yourself, but doing that for someone else. If you end up having a retirement plan that you're hoping to someday set up for yourself, keep in mind that you're financing someone else's retirement plan by living in a rental. Every month you pay rent, you're essentially saying yes to their long-term financial success and saying no to your own. It's kind of a hard pill to swallow, I know, but if you'd like to start saying yes to your own financial success, we can start by having a conversation about what it takes to get you into a home. And like I said, you probably aren't going to be saving money today, and that's a tough bit of truth. In the long run, your future self will absolutely thank you, your past self, and that's a pretty cool thing to be able to look back and say, I'm glad I made this decision when I did, because here is where my life is today. And I can guarantee that, because that's the experience that I've had. Hope you got some value out of this. If you did, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see more Fairbanks related real estate content. If you've got questions about these topics or any others, you can drop them down in the comments. I answer those every single day. You can also give us a call, 907-885-0316, or you can check out our website at www.fbxhomesearch.com. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.